Assalamu alaikum. Today I will explain Git and GitHub and how you can push your code to GitHub using Git. Git is a really powerful technology. It's a really powerful tool. You should know about it. Every developer should know about it. And I'll just teach you how to do it to push your assignment, your project, whatever, uh, on GitHub. Okay, so let's just start. If you just wanna push something on GitHub, your assignment, or anything like that, I'm just gonna give you the simple way, the straightforward way. Otherwise, you can watch the rest of the video. So the simple way is just go to github.com, github, okay, .com, okay, and I'm already signed in. So just create an account and sign in, and then download GitHub desktop, okay, for Mac or Windows, okay. Just download it. It's straightforward. It's not rocket science. Just download, and that's it. Log in. Then you'll have this login, and that's about it. All you'll have to do is click here, click add, and create new repository. And of course, it's going to be under your account. So just do whatever. So I'm just going to say whatever, okay. This is the name of my repository, and I can give it a description, but no need. It's not required. Okay. Anyway, where do you want the folder to be? So I can say desktop. I can say the desktop slash Osama. Anything. Okay. Anywhere you want it on your machine, you can have it. Then you can say initialize the repo with a README. You can do that if you want. You can add a git ignore if you know what that is. Anyway, but the easy way is just to write a name, create a repository, and publish repository. And then when you publish, you can keep this code private, or you can remove this. And for assignments and projects, I don't think it makes sense to keep it private because the doctor wants to see it, right? And otherwise, you would have to add him as a collaborator and whatever, and that's another headache. So just uncheck this checkbox and publish the repository, okay? And just give it a minute, and that's it. Okay, then you can open it in Visual Studio Code. I don't know what happened. Open in Visual Studio Code. Yeah, there it is. So I have my Git repo, the folder that is in in GitHub now, and I can just add things. So I'm just gonna add some folder, okay, and then I'll just do some file.txt, okay, some text, okay, and that's it. And now I'll just go to GitHub. Don't use the CLI. Don't use the VCS control, the source control window. This is maybe it will confuse you, okay? Because you'll see some changes here, but when you try to push them, nothing will be changed because there's untracked changes. There's a local branch and there's a remote branch, and we are working on the local branch. Just use GitHub Desktop. It's easier. It's faster. Just add any commit name, any commit message, sorry. So just say created some file, okay? And give it a description if you want, some description. And just commit to master, push origin, give it a second, and that's it. Now I should search for it, some, and what did I name it? I named it whatever. Okay, so let's go do whatever. And there it is, okay? I didn't do anything, and now I have the same message. I have a folder inside of it. There is a file, I hope. I don't know what happened. What's going on? Okay, it's taking time. Anyway, inside it should be the file that I created, which is some file. I don't know why the internet is slow. So I have it here, and now you can see some text. Now it's in the remote repository. Anybody can come and clone this repository and do stuff with it. This is the basic thing. If you have an assignment and you just want to push it to GitHub or a project, this is the easy way. No need to complicate it. Don't do it from Visual Studio Code. Don't do anything here. Forget about this window. Do it from GitHub Desktop. It's easy. It's simple. It's not rocket science. Okay, as you saw, simple steps. Otherwise, we could look at some Git. What I want to, go over with you is some Git basics. If you just wanted to know how to push something to GitHub, you can stop the video right here. Otherwise, you can keep watching. We're gonna learn some Git basics. So What is Git? Git is a distributed version control system that allows multiple people to collaborate on a project. So in a company, how are 100 people are going to work on one project, or 10 people are going to work on a project? Even you in your senior project or in your university course projects, how are you going to work on the project? How are you going to and do you always, unless you, like before, you always have to be in the same place to work together. With Git, you don't have to be in the same place to work together. Everybody can be in their home. You create a repository, and you will just work. Everybody will work. You will push your changes, make sure there's no conflicts or whatever, and then everything is good. So this is what Git is used for. Um, Git basically takes a picture of what all your files look like at the moment and stores a reference to that snapshot. So it just looks at your files, looks at your folders, and says, "Oh, okay, that's how his folders look like. Nice. Let me take a picture. Okay, I'm gonna keep it in my version control, and that's it. And it's stored somewhere on GitHub. And please don't confuse this. Git is not equal to GitHub. Okay, Git is the technology, and GitHub is the platform. Okay, so the platform to give you the graphical user interface, the ease of use, and all of that is GitHub. But the technology itself is Git. Okay, what is Git? What is the Git workflow? The Git workflow typically follows these steps: working directory, where you make the changes. Just like you saw earlier, I created a whatever folder or a whatever repository, and I added a folder called whatever. And then you have the staging area where changes are staged using git add. So let's say I come here and I add some other file.txt. Okay. Now, if I want to stage the changes, I'm gonna say git add some other file.txt, and it should. Okay, so I need to cd to some folder first, then I need to do this. Okay, now it's added. Okay, now it's added, and I can do what? Get status. Okay, and I can see that it's green, and it's always read the messages in the terminal. Don't just panic when something wrong happens. Read what is happening here, and you'll understand. Changes to be committed. Use git restore --minus staged file to unstage. If you want to unstage this file, if you don't want it to be committed, شنو معناتها هاي الجملة? If you don't want this file to be committed, you can do git restore --stage and then the file name. Okay, but if you want it to be committed, I want it to be committed, so I will just say git commit -m, which stands for message, and I'm just gonna say some message. Okay, and that's about it. Now, one last thing I need to do is git push, and then I say origin, and then I will see everything is pushed and whatever, and I can go to GitHub and I will see the new file, hopefully. Yeah, so there it is. Okay, it's not rocket science. It's very easy. It's very straightforward. Let's continue. Local repository is where you commit your changes with git commit. So that's what I just did. We have a local repository and a remote repository. The local repository is just where I just start working, and I'm working for hours or days or weeks or whatever. And then I say, okay, that's enough. Let me commit. So I do git commit. Okay, so I don't lose my changes. And now I have this commit in my local repository on my PC. Okay, but I want it to be in the remote. If I wanted it to be in the remote, I'm going to do git push. Okay, just like I did right now. What are untracked changes in Git? Untracked changes refer to the files that exist in your working directory but are not yet tracked by Git. They won't be included in commits until you stage them using git add. So just like what I said, is that if I keep working, it's like they're going to be untracked changes. Like, okay, Git the technology knows whatever I write here. So let's say this. Whatever I write here, it should track, but it's kind of untracking it at the same time. Like I did something, but it's not staged to be committed in some sense, if that makes sense. Okay, like whatever I write here, it will start changing. If I make a new line, if I make a new folder, the source control, the technology will understand that I did something, but it will not immediately stage it. Okay, if that makes sense. So if you need to stage it yourself. You need to say get add this file, or get add dot will stage everything. Okay, will put everything. If you want to do that, just do it. If you want to if you want to commit everything, then uh, do get add dot. Otherwise, just specify the file name or folder name or whatever. Okay. How do I state changes in Git? I already said that. So get add file name for a specific file, or get add dot to stage all the changes. So I already said that. Let's skip the slide. And what's the difference between staging and committing? So staging prepare changes to be committed by adding them to the staging area. Okay. Committing save stage changes to the local repository with git commit minus m. And m stands for message. Okay. So what is a branch in Git? Okay, also branch is something in Git. Is a term you will hear and is very useful. A branch in Git is an independent line of development. It allows you to work on a feature or bug fix separately from the main code base. The main branch is typically called master or main. Okay, so in Git, when you're dealing with a project, when you're working on a real project, you're going to have one branch that is called master or main or development. Okay, and these branches are stable branches. They are stable branches, which means that the code in them is very stable, and it's like a production. It's what's being used in production or in a staging environment or in a test environment. You can't just do whatever you want in this branch. So what's the solution? I will create a copy of this branch and name it something else. I will name it new feature, new dash feature. Okay, and then I can work here, do whatever I want in this branch. Okay, and then I can merge this branch into the stable branch, which is master or main. Okay, let's call it master for now. So if I have a master branch, this is a stable branch. Okay, stable branch. Okay, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna create a copy, or I will create a branch off of master, and then I will start working. So that's the basic idea. How do I create and switch between branches, and how do you create branches? Just do get branch and then the branch name. Okay, that's creating branch. Switching branches, you can do get checkout and then the branch name, or get switch. Okay, and this is how you create a branch. These are just basic stuff. What are local and remote branches? Local branches, these branches only exist on your machine. Remote branches, these are shared branches that live on a server. GitHub, GitLab for collaboration. Okay, and as I said before, Git is not equal to GitHub and not equal to GitLab. And there are so many other platforms that use the technology Git and that use the technology Git. So yeah, there's so many. There's GitLab, GitHub, and whatever. There's more. I don't know more than two, so I just added two. To list remote branches, just do git branch minus R if you have remote branches. And then what else? How do I push and pull changes from a remote repo? Push changes, git push origin, and then the branch name sends your local commits to the remote repository. Okay. Pull changes, git pull origin, and then the branch name, or you can just do git pull simply. Okay, but sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it acts up. So Git is a very powerful and useful technology, and there is so many things to it that sometimes not everything that you do you expect to happen happens. So you need to understand it fully and know what is happening. So anyway, this is just an overview if you wanted to know about it. How do I merge branches in Git? So let's say right now I am in the master branch, okay? And I can create a new branch off of master. I can name it some other branch, okay? I'm not good. Okay. I'm not good with naming, but let's, okay. IT learning is the best, okay? For instance, okay? Now, if you look down here, you can see I am in the branch IT learning is the best, okay? And I can do in the terminal, I can do get merge master, okay? But it will tell me it's already up to date, okay? It's already up to date. If something in the master branch was merged, was added, was inserted. Okay, then if I do get merge master, it will add it for me here. Okay, so that's the basic idea. To merge another branch into your current branch, use the command get merge and then the branch name, just like I showed you earlier. If there are conflicts, get will ask you to resolve them manually before completing the merge. What are conflicts? Conflict is like when two people work on the same thing or on the same file. Imagine I'm opening this file, some file, and you're also opening this file, and I'm doing stuff, and then you're doing stuff. Okay, and then we both push. That's a conflict. Okay, like get is like, okay, whose changes do I accept? Whose changes do I take? I don't know. Okay, so get will ask you, please, can you resolve the conflicts? I can't merge these branches unless you resolve these conflicts manually. So you have to go line by line, and you have to resolve these conflicts, and you'll learn this as you go along in your university or at work, hopefully, and you'll see this in action. And finally, how do I handle merge conflicts? Just like it's just like I explained, you will do it manually. And then what are the best practices in Git? And in my opinion, commit often with clear descriptive messages. Don't just commit like what I just did, added some file or whatever. Do something useful, like do get commit minus m um, started with feature XYZ. Okay, so something useful, something when another developer reads them commit message, he's like, oh, okay, I understand now. Okay, the next thing, regularly pull changes from remote repository to stay updated. You have to. A lot of you, I saw a lot of you in the groups having a problem where somebody pushed something and now you can't push something unless you pull. So, and you just don't know what's happening and there's a problem and you can't push. This happens if you don't pull. So before you start working, if you're working on a group assignment or a group project, before you start working, get pull, okay, or get fetch, okay. Um, so you will pull things from the remote. Now you're good. Now start working. Um, use feature branches for isolated development. This is just like something that I added for the future, but it's something like if you have a feature, you can do it in your project. If you have like they're giving you um, a feature in a project and they're saying like you do this part in the project, say feature name the branch like this. So we'll go down, create new branch, we'll say feature slash um, part one from the project, like part one from the project. So now you know that it's a feature and it's a part one from project 333, let's say, or 489, I don't know. Okay, any projects that you guys are working on. So these are some naming conventions. If it's a bug, you can do like bug, okay, slash something. So they're like organized in folders. Um, Keep branches up to date with the main. Actually, let's name it master branch to avoid merge conflicts. This is just like for your information. And then use .gitignore to avoid writing unnecessary files. And this is very important actually, and that's why I kept it here. And you can there's a special file called .gitignore. And if I add something here, I can tell him to stop tracking this file or this folder or something. So if I have one of the most special files that you will always work with is .inf, and .inf is a really really special kind of file which holds your environment variables. They're very sensitive. They hold sensitive information, and you never want to push this to GitHub. You never want to push this anywhere. You don't want anybody having it because people later on can clone your repository, صح? Even if they're your teammates. Nobody should have access to a long list of your secrets, صح? كأنه passwords. So you will do .inf. And this means whatever I write here, you will not see here. Okay, as you can see, the .inf is not tracked right now, or is not even being shown in this untracked section. But if I remove this, okay, It should come here. Yeah, so now it's there. Okay, so this is one feature of the. This is how you use the .ignore file, and it's very very important. You will use it in the future. Thank you so much. I hope you learned something from this lecture. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me personally, ask others for help, and also I would really advise you to use research a lot. Use the research tool that you have a lot. Like you have Google, just do how to do XYZ in Git. Okay, I don't know. Okay, and you will find answers for anything, almost anything. So you use the research tool that you have at your hands. Be good in researching because sometimes not someone is not going to be available to help you. So help yourself. Just do some research, read an article, read something. I don't know. So anyway, thank you. I hope you learned something and feel free to ask me anything. Thank you so much.